Hey, Scandal Squad. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can somebody drop it in the chat and let me know if you can hear me? It's crazy. I can't see myself. Let's see. I can't see myself. Let me stop sharing. But can you guys just let me know if you can hear me? My camera's not centered either. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Before we get into it, I just want y'all to know I have had a stressful day. So I'm off my game tonight. I'm a little, I had a little bit of a crazy day. Before we get into, so we're gonna talk about Diddy, all of the updates. Can y'all hear me? Talk about Diddy, Jay-Z, and Jaguar Wright. Y'all, it's just been a crazy day. So I am not as prepared as I should be. But anyway, let's get into it all. So let me just tell y'all really quickly. I had the worst day. Have you ever had neighbors move in? If in your neighbor and they move in and you could tell their mother is junky as hell. Like if you live on a nice street and everything is pristine and proper and the new people come in and it's like, where did you come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? I mean, but anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But let's get into these stories. I see Shara King Black. Can you hear me? It would be nice if somebody could just drop something. It's like, yes, we could hear you, girl. We hear you. We hear you. Let me see. I don't know if y'all could hear me. I don't want to just be talking out my ass and nobody can hear me. But anyway. So it's been all over. Everybody's been talking about it today with this whole Diddy and Jay-Z situation. Both of their attorneys filed some, moving papers today, per se, in these cases. And so I'm going to share this story. The first story is about Jay-Z. So I'm not going to read the complaint a lot. I think other channels are actually reading the complaint. Actually reading the actual application, the letter to the judge. But I'm just going to go over what is currently being reported. Just for those of you who don't know, it looks like a lot of these attorneys and are watching the bigger channels. I'm not a big channel, so I don't think they're watching me. Well, I know they ain't watching me, but they're watching these channels and they are interrupting lives and trying to get these channels taken down if you are not reporting factual information. So that's crazy. Let me see, y'all. I'm gonna just try to see if I can hear myself because let me see. Okay, so I'm there. Okay. So since nobody helped me with that, I helped myself. There you go. But yeah, so it looks like these, I don't know which teams are doing what, but they are actually going into chats. They are disrupting lives. They are not playing with this stuff. They don't want no misinformation to be put out there. So we're going to kind of stick to the things that are being reported in the periodicals, the newspapers, stuff like that. So the first one is, let's see, let me get back there. It's the story about Jay-Z. Y'all, like I told you guys, I'm not on game tonight. Listen, it's been a crazy day. Let me go here. Let me see what I'm trying to share. Y'all, I can't even see it. This is a really bad day. It's worse than I fucking thought. Okay, I'm still trying to get to this. Let me see. Where is this article? Okay, here we go. So last week, if you guys remember, the judge, Alyssa Torres, she tore into Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro. She was very upset with the way he was being aggressive, filing all these motions, just bombarding the court, right? And so she pretty much gave an order and did not allow Jay-Z to be removed from or dismiss the case, right? She told him that he was going to have to follow legal process, and she was not listening to anything that his attorney had to say. Well, I don't mean anything, but basically you're going to follow procedure. And so stop with all the shenanigans. Stop trying to diss or put the focus on Tony Busby. Stick to the facts at hand, the lawsuit, and stop trying to discredit him and those kind of things. So that was just maybe 4 or 5 days ago. It may have been a day after Christmas or so. So the way it was so harshly worded that, to me, generally attorneys would kind of take heed, because if you don't want to piss the judge off. You would think that he would fall back a little bit, but no, not Alex Spiro. He filed a letter to the court today asking again, could he move forward with the motion to dismiss? And so basically this is one of the, this is a article in Mirror. And the thing is based on his arguments. Again, I'm not going through that. I think it's been talked about for half of the afternoon. Sounds like he's found some legal loopholes and may actually be able to get this dismissed. Of course, there's case law that he presented. He showed that that some of the statutes don't apply to this particular case. Some of the things that the plaintiff is alleging, Jane Doe. So it sounds like, just again, we don't have all of the information. So this is just stuff that's playing out in the media. Like, you really just cannot decide a case based on what you are seeing in the media, right? But just based on what we're seeing, it sounds like Spiro has some great arguments, and if the things that he presented in his letter to the judge and the motion that he's waiting to hear back as to whether or not it can be dismissed, or at least Jay-Z, I'm gonna say we should know something. I'm gonna say we should know something probably mid-January, like in the next couple of weeks or so, right? So this article says Jay-Z's team is looking to dodge the grape case brought against him by calling on a loophole. So, the little technicalities like we talk about here on the channel, a lot of times, just like when we talked about the Rainier case, oftentimes before you even get to the point of discovery, you will want to try to impeach the case, so to speak, and get it thrown off. And something like this, a technicality. And earlier, Alex Spiro was trying to cite the fact that say that there were inconsistencies, that was enough grounds for the case to be dismissed. However, the judge did not agree with that. And I think even if the judge did agree, I think his aggressive nature caused the judge to just say, hey, I'm going to make you go jump through the hoops, and you're just going to do this procedurally correct, right? So based on what we heard before with the inconsistencies, we saw the lady speak, the Jane Doe speak on camera, well, her shadow. It was just inconsistencies, and the timelines didn't add up. And of course, there were different people trying to put together various timelines and kind of move the pawns around so that it fit, her story, but it sounds like it's falling apart. But anyway, it says a civil lawsuit was brought against the rapper. We know all that, when she was 13 years old. However, Jay-Z's lawyer, according to a letter to the judge obtained by the Mirror, is asking the court to dismiss the case. Now, and this is not anything new. His lawyer has been asking to get this case dismissed. But now he's going to the judge to ask and say, they didn't respond timely, because I think there was a response that was required from the opposing counsel, and they missed the deadline. They didn't respond. So now they're going before the judge to say, hey, can we file this this motion to dismiss. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let me make sure. Okay. It says Alex Spiro, celebrity lawyer, claimed the timing was an issue in the woman's lawsuit. So we talked about that. After all her allegations were made under the Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. But as Spiro claimed, the statute does not have retroactive effect. The law was enacted on December 19, 2000, but the alleged incident would have occurred 3 months prior. And as unfair as that sounds, that's just how the law works. It's like you can't reach back and make a law work for something that occurred before they instituted or implemented the dates or whatever when it becomes active. So just based on that, he sounds like that sounds like that would be enough if we're just looking at the law in which it stands. The only thing that I think that they could possibly get around it is if they go and say, well, to be honest, because they've already said there have been some inconsistencies. So I'm going to assume that what they're going to do, Busby is going to come back and say she has a year within 1 year. So instead of it having occurred on September of 2000, they're going to say, well, her memory may be a little bit off. It's a possibility it occurred in 2001. So they're going to move the timeline. I'm pretty sure I've worked on enough cases. I know they are not going to just say, oh, okay, well, yeah, you're right. No, Busby is going to come back and they're going to say, well, we already established the fact that her memory could be a little bit off, and they have a window of a year or two. I don't know what the law is in terms of how definitive they need to be in terms of the time, but they're definitely not going to just agree to this. They're going to fight it and say, no, this happened. Maybe it was 2001 or it could have been 2002. So they're going to have to try to move that timeline based on what he's citing here. Diddy's 5. Okay. So we don't care about that. So it says, moreover, Spiro took issue with the alleged location, noting that the law is only applicable if the alleged incident occurred in New York City. While the Jane Doe claimed she attended the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall, she also claimed the alleged assault occurred at a second location. There were a lot of issues with that. She claimed she was driven 20 minutes away to a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway, according to her complaint. So Spiro is saying that after reviewing public records, any such residence, to the extent it existed at the time, would have been located outside of the territorial boundaries of New York City. Again, another technicality. And that's perfect, because that's how good attorneys, that's how they're supposed to do. They are supposed to shoot holes. You know what they say, throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. And then whatever don't stick, it falls. But the defense is supposed to shoot holes any way they can. And he's actually doing a really good job here, because I think most of us want to say, well, was he at the event? Did this occur? They're not even arguing the logistics of whether or not he did it or didn't. They're literally saying it wrong jurisdiction, wrong statute. You can't use that particular act that you're using to support this case. So it's no case. They're pretty much saying it's a moot point, don't exist, can't do it. If it don't fit, you must have quit, type of thing, right? It's saying, finally, Spiro argued that the statute of limitations barred the plaintiff's ability to file the suit, as the alleged incident would have occurred 20 years ago. So there you go. He's given 3 good points. We'll have to see what Busby says, what he retorts. But I'm going to say, just based on cases that I've done in the past, I would say that Busby, the 2 points, he's going to change that timeline. So because they're saying alleged incident would have occurred 20 years ago, they're going to try to change that so that they are within the window that doesn't supersede the statute. So previously, a revival period was put into place to temporarily lift the statute of limitations in an effort to allow survivors a chance to come forward. However, that period expired in 2021. Oh, so there you go. The letter claimed plaintiff seeks to plead around the statute of limitations issued by asserting claim under the H1V law, which contains a longer revival period. Courts in this district, however, have recognized that the CVA's revival period preempts the H1V's law, overlapping and extended ones. So basically, it's just a lot of this. It's almost like the scale of justice. One in one hand it's like this, but oh no, it tilts back here. So it's like this supersedes that, which negates that. That's kind of what they're arguing here. Jay-Z denied the allegations against him in a lengthy statement. He wrote, "The allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint." So anyway, that's where we are right now. We're waiting to hear the judge's response as to whether or not Alex Spiro will be able to go ahead and file that motion to dismiss. Again, if he's able to file the motion to dismiss, it will help Diddy as well. Although, remember, Alex Spiro has said they weren't friends. That anything that occurred, that Jay-Z has nothing to do with that Diddy stuff. Basically, he didn't say stuff. I'm not quoting him verbatim, but basically, if Jay-Z, if Spiro is able to get this dismissed, then it goes away for Diddy as well. And then it seems like, and I've said this before, Busby came out strong, I think, a couple of days ago, but from the beginning, this case seemed kind of flimsy, then everything else falls like dominoes. Like, not everything, because we haven't seen all of the cases, but it sounds like Busby and all these, allegedly he had 120 people he could represent. I think there's only about 20 cases. And once he starts knocking down one, it's kind of like the domino effect. The other cases will start to fall flat as well, because then he loses credibility as well as the other cases. So that's kind of, right now it's not a win for Jay-Z, but it's kind of tilting more in his favor. And legal analysts are pretty much agreeing at this point. A lot of people were thinking that it was a frivolous case from the beginning, or not that nothing occurred, but it was just going to be kind of hard to prove. And that's what it's looking like. So that's that. So now let's talk about Diddy. Okay, let me get to the Diddy situation. So now this came out today, and I forget the counsel that filed this, but I believe it's a co-counsel of Busby, I believe, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, it says Sean Diddy Combs. Oh, let me share this. I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on one second. Y'all, my throat be getting dry, and I don't want to be coughing in your ear, right? Okay, so it says Sean Diddy Combs is allegedly refusing to leave his jail cell to accept legal service, a lawyer said in a court filing today. Combs awaits his May trafficking trial behind bars at the MDC in Brooklyn. So basically, this attorney came and filed something today saying that Diddy is refusing to come out of his cell. Well, we heard last week that he had a meltdown. He's not eating. He's emaciated. It looks like he's having a hard time. He had asked to be taken to the hospital, which they did not allow him to, but he's refusing to come out of his cell, and he's avoiding service. Now, I thought that was interesting because he has representation. So I And so I'm not familiar with, I mean, this is what I used to do, where we would do the proof of services and send stuff out, and I did the court filings and all of that. And from what I understand, or when I was doing lit, if the person was represented by an attorney, then the attorney would and can accept service. So I don't know why they're saying that there's an issue with him not coming out of, or coming out of his cell or his pod or whatever kind of, however he's being housed. I need, I would need to do a little bit more research in that. But as far as I know, if you have legal counsel, you have representation, they can accept service on your behalf. But anyway, it says in 2 assaults lawsuits against Combs, attorney Tony Busby's co-counsel, and Curtis requested Monday to postpone the January 10th conferences, claiming they're facing delays caused by defendants Combs' refusal to leave his cell to accept service. So the only thing I could think of is that maybe he has to sign off on to say that that Agnifilo can represent him in these matters or something like that. But that I mean, honestly, I don't know, because I haven't done criminal cases, so that's a new one on me. And I don't know if it's also a ploy. Now, the one thing that I'm thinking that is more reasonable is the fact that they really want a delay and they're just using this as an excuse, right? So we'll have to see what happens, what the judge says about this, because that doesn't make sense to me. That just literally doesn't make sense to me. It sounds like I'm just assuming that it's a delay tactic on their end, and they said they're facing delays, and and they're also talking about, it says, wait a minute. Okay, so this is actually the letter. Let me see if you guys could see it. Okay, well, it's so small. I'm so sorry. Until this platform changes, I'm on StreamYard. So this is the letter where they're saying their firm represents John Doe, and they've been in negotiations with defendants counsel regarding service of process, scheduling, and case management. And this is where they talk about Diddy not coming out of his cell to accept service. So I think there's some more procedural things, or they're just trying to buy some time here. Because they're also stating that they're in negotiations with Diddy's team. So if you are in negotiations, from my perspective, that means that there's communication. They are to some degree representing him. So what do they need Diddy to be served with? That's my biggest question. If somebody is currently a legal student or an attorney, please let me know, because that's an area I'm not familiar with. I don't know. Let's see. You go back here. And then let's see, it goes on to say, and then they're just going on to restate the obvious, that Cassie filed, the case against him. And I saw Agnifilo do an interview about, like, right around the time Diddy was arrested, and he literally stated, he said it, Diddy's attorney said, if Diddy had settled with Cassie before it hit the media, none of this would be happening. So Diddy has not only put himself in jeopardy, well, he's currently behind bars, but he's also exposed other people. I mean, now this net is being cast far and wide over other people. Now Jay-Z is involved, J-Lo, Beyonce. He has just opened up Pandora's box to get so many other people that probably had nothing to do with this, get them involved in this. And I don't think it's going to bode well for him, because I know people are livid that they have been drugged into this situation, all because of his arrogance. He could have just literally, signed it, paid her off, and it would be over. Now, this is something. So now we're going to get into this. Now, I didn't know about this, so let me share this instead. Now, apparently, I didn't know, was going on with this case, but this came out today. I know Jaguar Wright. So over the weekend, there have been reports that Rock Nation had paid Jaguar off like six figures, 300 up to $300,000 to retract her statements, to recant what she said about Jay-Z, right? And I say that I didn't believe it because it just would, that's like obstructing justice. Like you would not want to pay her to tell her to stop saying something, because it's gonna bite them in the end. Like they paid her to be quiet or silent about something. First of all, she doesn't have a lawsuit against him, Jay-Z. So why would he be paying her? Number two, regardless as to whether or not she retracted it, the statements have already been put out there. So that's pointless. And also think about it. Jay-Z refused to pay the Jane Doe money when they were trying to negotiate with him. So why would he pay Jaguar Wright? He's already pissed off with her. In my opinion, there's just no way his legal team would go into any kind of an agreement or a contract with her, which would be a contract like a settlement or payout. Just, I don't believe it. So I was like, nah, it doesn't sound right. It's unbelievable. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but doesn't make sense. What would the point be? It would be pointless. So I saw this today. Jaguar writes, those three letters, we used to call it the package, comments misinterpreted. MusicEssentials.com issues a correction on Diddy Claims video. Now, my point, what I want to say is that a lot of these YouTubers, publications, media sites, they have allowed people to get up there and make flagrant comments about people, inflammatory statements without proof. And now that Jay-Z is coming out, not so much Diddy, because I think Diddy got his hands full, because he's really trying to fight an indictment. But Jay-Z, because his public persona, his brand is being so impacted now, they're starting to come for people. Like I said, today, one of the content creators' lives was snatched down, is disrupted. There are other content creators that are receiving letters telling them if you don't take this down, or you might be facing some issues, and people don't want to lose their YouTube channel. And so just like this publication now is issuing an apology, all behind comments that Jaguar Wright has made in the past. It's like, y'all should have known before you sit up there and publicize and publish this issue. You are supposed to do your due diligence. Some of this stuff, like, even if you think it's true, it's your journalistic duty. Some stuff you just can't. You cannot get out there and say things about people that could just be defaming. You're defaming their credibility, their jobs, because once a person says something, even if it's proven to be a lie or wrong, there's going to be a percentage, usually a third of people, they're going to still believe what they heard. You're never going to be able to erase it away. And it's like, it's going to be too late. You've already, put a black eye on their, on their image. So I don't know why people were just allowing. It's one thing for Jaguar Wright to get up there and say Alicia Keys can't sing and da-da-da-da-da, whatever. But in this instance, when you're talking about medical stuff, when we have HIPAA laws where you're not supposed to divulge a person's medical history, when we have things like, you're talking about this person has something that can be life-threatening, you can't just say that. I mean, it causes so many problems. Nobody would want nobody out there saying certain things about them. So you shouldn't even allow it. Like, first of all, some stuff, it's just protected information. It's really protected. So why are you up here talking about it? And then say allegedly, although allegedly don't necessarily protect you, but it's like, it's crazy. But anyway, this publication, apparently, I didn't see the interview, But she must have gone on here. This is a screenshot. She must have went on there. I think that it was a video or something, and made some statements about Diddy that they got scared. And it's the Euroweb. So here it says, in a recent turn of events that has caught the attention of media fans alike, musicessentials.com found itself in hot water, just like Piers Morgan. Remember when she was up there talking that ish on Piers Morgan, and then he had to come Jay-Z, and y'all just sit. You guys know better. Found itself in hot water over a significant error in their reporting regarding Sean Diddy Combs and gossiper. now they calling her a gossiper, right? Now you see how they switching up, trying to make her look bad, a gossiper. Well, we all gossiping, but now she's a gossiper. Any other time it would be our guest, or you know what I'm saying, or internet personality. But now that they pissed because she done got them in trouble, gossiper Jaguar Wright. Some people want to say a liar, okay? But anyway, an article published on the site suggested serious allegations made by Wright, who's also a singer, implied that Diddy was concealing his health status alongside other high-profile figures. Now, how the hell she know? I mean, are you a nurse? Do you have access to the Epic system, that the system we use for medical records and stuff, where they log and can audit who logs in and who logs out? Like, how do you know this to be a fact? However, the outlet has since acknowledged this misinterpretation and taken steps to rectify the situation. So here's the thing. Y'all didn't misinterpret shit. Y'all sat up there and let this lady talk smack for views or whatever, and now a misinterpretation. No. It wasn't a misinterpretation. It was probably flat out lies. Don't sit up there and talk about misinterpretation. Y'all just was up there lying. So it says an article published on the site suggested serious allegations. Okay, I already read that. However, the outlet has since acknowledged this misinterpretation and taking steps to rectify. Can y'all hit the like button? And for some reason, I see a few of you guys in here. I don't see no damn comments. Can somebody at least say my breath stinks? Something? Can y'all do something? Hit the like button. Show me some love. Tell me to log off. Tell me you don't like the lipstick. Something. Dang. I feel like I'm sitting up here talking to myself. Pretty much I am. But anyway, it says, however, the outlet has since acknowledged the misinterpretation. Was it misinterpreted? It was a definite statement and taking the steps to rectify. Wright's initial comments stirred controversy as they suggested that Diddy, like others, might be keeping their health status a secret while continuing to thrive professionally, while discussing the ongoing struggles within the music scene. And see, that's another thing. I mean, if they got medical issues, okay. So, I mean, people are entitled to be ill, to have medical things, and not disclose that to the public. Like, what difference does it make? And I'm not defending Diddy here, but I'm just talking about in general terms. Your medical situation is between you and your doctor and or your sexual partner. What does that have to do with them being entertainers? Like, people have to stop that. I mean, it's trying to out somebody who has not come forward with their own medical information. It's kind of wrong. And especially, what facts do you have? Like, how do you just sit up there and say that? So Wright's initial comments stirred controversy as they suggested that Diddy, like others in the industry, might be keeping their status a secret while continuing to thrive professionally. Diddy had the opportunity, like everybody else. That's wild. You know what's wild about that, though? He faced that head up, Wright noted. Her statements did not stop there, as she delved deeper, labeling Diddy a destructive force in the industry, claiming he had been a figure of negativity for decades. Girl, that's what they're saying about you too, He's been the devil for 30 years, she stated, suggesting that influence industry figures have protected him, thus allowing his alleged misdeeds to go unchecked. Now, I mean, that's a fair statement, because you can basically, the man is incarcerated now. So that's not like so far off. I mean, that's a fair statement. And I don't think that could be considered something defaming him, given the fact that he's currently incarcerated. But talking about his medical status that you can't prove, that's a whole nother thing. Be positive 70. Hey, okay, thank you for putting something in the chat. Be positive 77. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the chat, because I'm like, who am I just talking to myself? Usually they say something to me. So thank you. I appreciate you for putting that in there. Thank you so much. So let's see. Okay. However, confusion arose when Music Essentials reported that Wright claimed Diddy had, the H and to the I to the V. Upon further review, the site issued a public mea culpa clarifying that the allegations had been misinterpreted. Wright was actually, see, this is the BS statement. If she's talking about Diddy and makes a comment or a statement like that, and then you're saying, oh, but she meant something, like, no, I didn't see it, because when I tried to play it, I don't know if it was removed or something. I might try to do it again, but y'all know what she was talking about. And see how people start backpedaling? Well, we said so-and-so, but we really meant this. If she was talking about Diddy and the whole line of conversation, the linear conversation was about Diddy, how Magic Johnson get into this? I mean, huh? It says Wright was actually referring to basketball icon Magic Johnson. They don't want to be sued, who publicly disclosed his own HIV diagnosis back in 1991, a crucial distinction that had been lost in translation. Now, let me say this. I heard Jaguar Wright mention Magic Johnson, and I used to cover her back in the early 2020s. I heard her say much or nothing about no Magic Johnson. So this to me sounds bogus. They just want to cover their CYA because they don't want to be sued. Yeah. We want to address a mistake in our earlier coverage of comments made by, now we talk about earlier coverage of comments made by Jaguar in a recent interview. They stated in their apology. They admitted to having misread the interview transcript and expressed regret over the dissemination of potentially damaging misinformation. Yeah, I mean, people got to be careful about that. To see the portion of the interview, click the player above and skip ahead to approximately the 9:20 mark for her to make comments about Magic Johnson. That somehow got confused for Sean Diddy Combs. And then they go on to say this serves as a reminder to be responsible on platforms and everything. It says, meanwhile, if you're wondering, as of this posting, Jaguar Wright has not publicly responded to the backlash or correction. However, the nature of her original comments has reignited discussions around accountability, health disclosures, and overall integrity in the music industry. So they're saying that she has not necessarily responded to this. However, we do know that all over the internet and with multiple content creators and platforms, she has been trying to correct them and has said that a lot of the statements that she previously made, she did not make them, and it was her words were misconstrued or modified by AI. So be positive said yes, ma'am, and she says, "What do you think about Jaguar Wright and all? What you think about Jaguar Wright and all her comments?" Well, honestly, I don't have nothing bad to say about Jaguar Wright. I know she's going through a lot right now. People are calling her out. But I honestly feel like a lot of the information that she talked about with these celebrities is stuff that has already been out there on the internet. A lot of the things Wendy Williams had talked about. If you're kind of like into pop culture and gossip columnists and stuff, a lot of this is old information. So it's not to me. Now, for some people, because she's so vocal, She's such a great storyteller. But there is a whole like Jaguar Wright kind of she has her own like out they call it her own algorithm, but there's a whole like little clique of that solely focus on Jaguar Wright, and they mostly focus on her personal life. And it's been around like 2 or 3 years, and they focus on her relationship with I forget her the guy she was married to, and her relationship with her son, and rubbing ashes on herself and being arrested at the mayor's office and going, just all of the crazy shenanigans. And so I've seen the crazy side, right? Being in the ambulance talking about Storma Rowe made her lose her baby or was going to make her have a miscarriage. I've seen the other side, but a lot of what she says is absolutely true. I mean, we know the industry is shady. You don't have to be necessarily connected to the industry to know this. A lot of, again, Wendy Williams told a lot of this stuff before 20 years ago. I'll say back in the early 2000s, Wendy Williams was on WBLS outing Diddy and all of these guys, Jay-Z, talking about Jay-Z and Foxy. So none of this stuff is new. I mean, and in Lipstick Alley, if you go to Lipstick Alley, you can go way back to 2010, 2014, where they were talking about all of this stuff that's coming out now. None of this stuff is people in New York. I'm on the West Coast, so I don't know. But if you hear people that were in the industry, they say people knew about it. I think the difference is that a lot of the people in the industry were afraid to come forward because they didn't want to be blacklisted. They didn't want to be blackballed. But Jaguar Wright, because she's no longer, her music career has kind of been on the back burner, and she has become more of an orator, like they said earlier, a gossiper. She's become more known for that. So she wasn't afraid of, outing the secrets that a lot of them knew, or open secrets, I'll say, because a lot of it really wasn't secrets. But I just think she's just the one to be more expressive and like, I don't give a damn, I ain't got nothing to lose. And that's what she became known for. I was behind on everything until, really? Wow. Like, what were you behind in? Because a lot of this stuff that she's talking about, well, let's say that now I'm going to be honest. I didn't know a lot about Diddy. I never heard anything about Diddy in terms of the parties and the white parties. In my generation, like everybody wanted to go to the white parties, go to the Hamptons. I have friends who went to parties in the Hamptons and stuff, not Diddy's parties, but Diddy kind of made that popular. Like if we on the West Coast, like we weren't doing all of that until like Diddy made the white parties. And it was like, ooh, I want to go to a white party. I want to go. I never got to go. I never went. But, it's like I had heard that he was mean and difficult. I've had Malika from Making the Band on here because she's from the Bay Area. So I interviewed her. And so when she was working with Diddy back early 2000, whatever year, I heard that he was mean and hard to work for, and he would cuss people out and stuff like that. But I never heard this stuff about the assault type of stuff. I had never heard that. So when some of this stuff started coming out, that was kind of crazy. That was shocking to me. But again, I had heard a lot of stuff about Jay-Z. Now that stuff, that was pretty much, because Wendy Williams would talk about Jay-Z a lot back in the day. She would talk about Jay-Z, and she would talk about Diddy being on the download, but she never said I never heard anything about kids or doing anything nefarious with children. I never heard that. So that stuff was a little bit crazy. You said you were in shock over everything. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm in shock, but like more and more things are coming out about Beyonce and Jay-Z and all of these allegations, which is kind of, it's crazy because when we have lives, some of the people, they're not here tonight. So I'm going to put up this. Let me put up this because I want to shout out Lulu, Crystal, Michael, and Bring Them STV. Those are my people that's always here supporting me. So I just want to shout them out. But so we're always kind of going back and forth about Beyonce. Like, I don't listen, I don't think anybody is above the law. I don't think anybody is above doing some crazy ish. I mean, hell, like I said, I could do something crazy. I never say what people can or can't do because you just don't know. But it's just shocking the kind of things that people are saying Beyonce is into. Now, like you said, let me see what your comment was, that you said you were in shock. The things that I'm hearing about Beyonce, now that's shocking for me. It's like, not Beyonce, no. Because her image has been so pure, such a Puritan, such a, nice girl and everything. So that's the only person that I'm a little bit surprised about. I'm not gonna say shocked, because I listen to get where they get in the industry. I've always heard the industry was cutthroat and it's bad. Let me tell you, YouTube is just cutthroat too. Hell, and we don't even make the kind of money that they make. So considering they're talking about millions, I'm sure it's dirty, but talking about assaulting children and some of the things that these people are being accused of, is just pretty much unbelievable. And I think also, it was Saturday night, I had an emergency meeting and I talked about another case where Beyonce is actually mentioned in a case with R. Kelly, Diddy, Jay-Z, Epstein, Weinstein. It was like, now that was a shocker. And I have to shout out Corey Love TV, because he was the first person I saw it on. I hate they dragging that little girl into it. What little girl? Which little girl are you talking about? Tell me which little girl. I'm going to cough while you type it in there, if you don't mind. The only little girl, are you talking about the 13-year-old? I hate that they dragging that little girl into it. Be positive. Which little girl? I don't know of any little girl other than the 13-year-old. Okay. Dragging the daughter into it. How True Blue belongs to. Oh, yeah. See, that kind of stuff. That's crazy to me. Now, okay. So so let's talk about something else. Now, what's crazy is that, you remember the whole thing when Beyonce was pregnant and the stomach kind of collapsed? That made me think that maybe she had a surrogate. I mean, it's possible, because that's what they do. Like, the Kardashians, nobody's having babies anymore. Jasmine Sullivan even has a song where she talking about, I'm gonna get my body done, get a surrogate. Like, that's the popular thing to do for women now. Like, they want to keep their bodies good. They do the in vitro, whatever they do, and let somebody else carry the baby, especially if you're an entertainer. So I could see that. I could see Beyonce doing that. I'm not saying she did, but that's not unreasonable to me. But I still think, even if she had a surrogate, I feel like it's her baby. Like, I don't believe that Kathy White lady or somebody else is her mother. Blue looks like Beyonce and Jay-Z to me. And it's just like, I think people go with these conspiracies. Again, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But Blue Ivy, she looks like her parents to me. So I don't know why, they're just kind of making up stuff. But people like talking about things, and it's so salacious, and it's like, it would be a shock, and it's like, so it's almost like a fiction. It's almost like, we believe. I mean, it's sad, but with celebrities, it's, to some degree, we look at their lives like fiction. You know what I mean? Like, the things that they're going through, people act like they're not human, but they are. And I think there's some element, a lot of people are really jealous, and they feel like, well, you got this money and all of this, that they should be immune to us talking about them. But no, it's not. They're not. So I think some of it is just people want to gossip and think about the most bizarre and crazy things. Surrogate is probably what it was. I just hate they're doing that to that little girl. It's sad, I know, but so let me say this. Okay, yeah, so I agree with you. I think if anything, it probably was a surrogate. I don't think that nobody else is her mother, none of that. But Jay-Z said something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way when this stuff came out, when they accused him of having this relations with the 13-year-old back in the day. I don't personally think that he did something to that 13-year-old back in the day. I think it's kind of a bogus claim or something. I do believe that he has messed with young girls, but I don't believe that he did that. So what kind of rubbed me wrong about him is when he came out and was saying, I'm upset about this. Nobody wants to be accused of something like that. That's horrific. Ugh, yikes. Like that's just, nobody wants to be accused of doing something like that to a child. But when he said, I have to have a conversation with my children, and like, this is something that my kids shouldn't have to experience, that rubbed me wrong because he has come forward and talked about when he was younger, how he sold drugs and the things that he did. And so now it's like, I hate to say karma because karma is good and bad, but now you're being revisited possibly by some of the same energy you dealt with when you were harming people's kids too. Because I know, like, people say, well, just because somebody sold drugs don't mean you have to buy it. But if you were out there doing that, you were part of the problem, right? Oh, you guys, it looked like I froze. I don't know what happened. You're part of the problem. So for him to make that comment, it's like your family is not above anybody else. The same way you want your children to be protected, other people feel the same way about their kids. So that, to me, I didn't like when he said that. And of course, he's entitled to say it, but think about the damage and the harm that you possibly did to people in the past. Maybe it's being revisited upon you. That's how I took it. So, and yeah, I think people are really critical of Blue Ivy. I know they were coming at her about the dress she wore for the Mufasa premiere. I heard people were, just kind of talking about her performance, talking about her wearing makeup. But you know what? In terms of wearing makeup, if your children are in dance, they wear makeup. The little girls, the little 5 or 6 year old, they put on little lipstick and stuff. My daughter was in dance. So, I didn't see anything really, really bad about how she appeared. Somebody was saying, she had cleavage, had her chest out. I just think people look at a lot of reasons to tear Blue Ivy down just because of who her mom is. So she's just going to have a thick skin. But y'all know, Tina came out fighting for Beyonce. Miss Knowles don't play about her daughter, okay? Tina was like calling people Bozo the Clown and you don't have no talent and stay up off her page and don't be watching because they were talking about her Netflix special. Some people were putting her down. Miss Knowles didn't like that, which I don't blame her. Talk about my daughter, I'm gonna have a problem too. So B says karma is a real thing. Absolutely. Definitely a real thing. Yeah, good and bad. A lot of times we talk about karma, people say, oh, that's your karma, bad karma, but there's good karma too. It's what you sow, the seeds that you sow in life, so shall you reap. You do good things. Bad things will happen. Life is life. But if you put out enough negative energy, you do enough bad things and wrong things to people, you got to damn near trust and believe it's going to come back to you. Without a doubt, there's no escaping that. But yeah, today was a pretty busy day for both Jay-Z, Diddy. I ain't going to say Jaguar Wright because hers is just internet BS and stuff. I don't follow her that much like that. But right now, I think the critical things are Jay-Z, that this motion to dismiss may be going forward. And I venture to say possibly mid-January we'll hear something. We're like sliding into New Year. So I don't know. Elisa Torres, the judge, like she was pretty pissed with Alex Spiro. So I don't know if she's gonna be like, I told you to chill out. So I don't know. Um, I don't know how she's gonna be in terms of I feel like I feel like he should have waited a little bit, because now it's like, okay, she's told you to stop filing all these, to stop just bombarding the court with these requests, right? He ain't giving no time. He's not, but the one thing we see is that he's being a little bit more, he's not being as aggressive. He is following the rules, and asking and doing things procedurally correct. But I still feel like it's a little too soon, but we shall see. And I feel like more than likely, just based on, I mean, like I said, I never did criminal law, but just from what I see happening, I feel like this is a meritless case, and that even the case law that he brought forth today, Jay-Z's attorney Spiro, I just can't see the judge allowing it to go forward. I don't. But I don't know, because it may be some other case law to counter what was filed today. And in terms of Diddy, they're saying that Diddy is the prosecuting side, the prosecutors are trying to work out a deal with him that if he will, cooperate, that he may get that opportunity to get bond. And so I do believe, this is allegedly a source close to the case has released this, but I think that's probably true, because in cases like this, I know that they do try to make deals with people. They try to make deals with people to turn on each other. And this was a perfect opportunity, because Jay-Z just last week said, I have nothing to do with Diddy. And so now Diddy, seeing that, the judge is saying, no, this case is going to go forward, all of this stuff. And I'm thinking that Diddy thought that Jay-Z was going to be fighting for him, because just think if they became co-counsel and they're supporting each other. I know each attorney has to represent their own respective client, but it's a strong case if they are both kind of working together, because that happens all the time. They'll share information and try to help each other out. But it sounds like there's a total severance. It sounds like Spiro is solely focused on Jay-Z. And I think Mark Agnafilio, I believe in the beginning that honestly, I think there was a comment or a statement where he was in support of Jay-Z, right? So I think that let Diddy's team know that they're not working together. It's not going to be some kumbaya for us. Like, you fight your own fight, we'll fight ours. And Jay-Z is just like, I just want to get out of the mess. If it gets Diddy off, great. If not, oh well. And if I have to throw him under the bus, I will, because that's some reports that they had last week as well, that a source close to the case was saying Jay-Z will do anything to get out of this. And we know people were saying who know Diddy said the same thing. They said Diddy has no loyalty either. Both of these men, so that's something that was interesting to me too. Both of these men historically have been noted to not have no loyalty for nobody. They didn't get to where they got being loyal. And it's sort of like both of them were at the helms of, two powerful, like, just two power heads, right? And now they're going head to head. And so if they can conquer or divide, then they will be able to conquer them, because I feel like they're going to start to get them turning on each other. Like, well, if you can let me know something about him, or you can let me know something, then that can help you. And I think that's the strategy they're using out, the prosecutors. Blue is beautiful and has nothing to do with what adults have. Exactly. I agree with you. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. I don't like to see kids drug into this stuff, because they have nothing to do with it. And even at her premiere that night, oh my gosh, I felt sorry for her, because she just looked uncomfortable. Now, Beyonce looked gorgeous as usual, but it just looked like an uneasy look on her face. And I know she's nervous. I know she's getting more into the spotlight. But people are just so critical. Number one, it does not matter. It does not matter. People always got something negative to say. I don't care. They always got something negative to say. And with her being in the spotlight now, you know she's nervous. The day that they walked that red carpet was the same day that Jay-Z's name was brought into that case with the 13-year-old girl. So for them to even show up as a family, to be on like, that's got to be nerve-wracking. Her dad is being accused of this. You got to deal with these kids at school. Some of them little jealous girls, because you are Beyonce's daughter, the little mean girls. But they did it. So, yeah, to me, that's a lot for a young girl to have to deal with. She looked very much just uncomfortable. It was written all over her face. And then when he showed up, it was reported or rumored that Beyonce made him come in support of Blue. But hell, I don't know. Blue probably was like, both of y'all asses could have stayed home for it. Y'all got me up here looking bad, So Jay-Z says facts. Hey, Jay, put us on the payroll. B says, I thought Diddy's case was at a standstill. No, it's not at a standstill, because remember, they're going to continue to be moving papers. There's going to be discovery, like part of the whole case management. There's just going to probably be different filings. I think the next hearing, Diddy has multiple cases. So if you're talking about the indictment, that's one thing, but then there are also the cases that he's fighting with, the civil cases where people are suing him, trying to get money. And then there's the criminal case. So, and neither one are at a standstill. Generally with most cases, there's always something moving, something is going to be due. Like there's a schedule, when you have a complaint, the response, and then whatever additional motions and hearings. So I don't think it's at a standstill. I think in terms of the criminal case right now, he has withdrawn his request for the bail hearing, because he was going to do it on appeal, and apparently he has withdrawn that. So there's no bond hearing on docket now. The case is set for some time in May, because they wanted to fast track it. But but there's also the new rumor that the prosecuting attorneys, that they're trying to work out a deal, and that's always a possibility, So it's never over. If they can get more money, not more money, more people involved, then they're going to do that too. What happened between Diddy and Bieber? Is Bieber filing against him? Now, I just saw something recently that Bieber posted something cryptic, but we have not heard anything about Bieber in terms of coming out filing against him. This is just my assumption. I don't feel like Bieber would file against him in a criminal case. In a civil case, like to try to get money or anything. The only way I see Bieber coming after him or whomever is, I heard like maybe some months ago that Bieber was financially strapped, or that he had lost some money, that there was a money issue. But I really doubt that he's going to come against him in terms of a like something about some assault or something. I don't think so. More than likely, they're just going to he might have to testify, and he might testify against him, because if he's under oath, he might have to tell the truth. Did something occur? But I don't personally think that he's trying to follow suit or anything against him. Did you hear that he was? Because I haven't heard anything like that. The only thing that I've heard, of course, these are sources. You know how these sources go to the publications. Sources close to his camp said that Bieber didn't want to have anything to do with it. He's got a lot of emotional things going on. He's got this baby, his marriage. The last thing I did hear, I think a day or two ago, was that his marriage was on the rocks. I thought, but a while back, maybe I haven't heard that he was going after Diddy in any kind of civil way or anything. The only thing that I've heard is that mentally he's been kind of suffering and just trying to deal with the trauma. And I mean, honestly, it's still these are still allegations that Diddy did something to him. I mean, it hasn't come out yet. A lot of the things won't probably come out until the trial. I mean, we saw those videos, which those are pretty telling to me, but legally, in terms of did something really occur, we won't really know until the trial. Clearly, Justin shouldn't have been drinking, and Diddy and they were providing drinks and stuff, and he looked to be high on some of those videos and stuff. It looked just inappropriate. There was one with that one guy, the football player, where he was like adjusting his pants and stuff like that. That kind of stuff just made me sick. Like, what are y'all doing to these kids? But yeah, I haven't heard anything about Justin Bieber necessarily going against Diddy, and it's sickening that his mother allowed anybody to be his guardian for any amount of time. Like, you can't just turn your kids over. And I think that's what a lot of these parents were doing, just to to get their kids, have their kids get put on so that they could get some money. You just can't do that. That's crazy. Hey Lulu, hey Scandal Squad, season's greeting and a blessed new year to you too. Hey everybody, my mod is here. Lulu, can y'all wish her happy new year? It's good to see you. So we're just talking about the goings ons of the day with Diddy and Jay-Z. And I started, Lulu, since you got here late, let me tell you, my day was totally upped up because I got some new neighbors. And have you ever had neighbors that's just raggedy as hell? They got their stuff all over. Like, you know how everybody keep their little yard neat and everything? Well, we got some new neighbors, and they just park the cars wherever, leave the doors open. It's like, oh my goodness. And that was really getting on my damn nerves. Be Positive said, hello, Lulu. And Lulu said, hey, B. Girl, I mean, these people, I've already told them, because I have a problem. Like, everybody got their own little space. Let's just, because I live in on a street, and so we have an HOA that we have to pay for, and it's expensive. So it's like, just follow the rules. Y'all make me follow them. Yeah, y'all make me follow the rules. If I got to follow the rules, everybody on the block got to follow the rules. I'm like the Karen, okay? And so I've already told them, listen, don't park there, because there's a parking where you look out your window and it's like an open, the grass and stuff. Don't park there, because when I look out of my window, you ain't supposed to be parked there. Just don't do it. They keep doing it. So why that I gotta call the HOA? And I don't give a damn. We don't never have to be good neighbors, because you're not being a good neighbor if you don't respect the other people around you. Got your stuff all thrown all around. Like, hell, where you think you at? Y'all need to go live in the dumpster dive or something. Don't bring that ish up here. Sorry. Whew. Got my blood pressure up. That I couldn't even focus on work today, which this is my work right now. I'm like, it really threw me off my mark, because I just feel like let's just respect each other. You know what I'm saying? If we supposed to be cohabitating this little space, everybody just do what you're supposed to do and we'll be all good. But anyway, that's my little rant for the day. But yeah, Lulu, it looks like Jay-Z's attorney, Spiro, has some really good arguments as to why this case against Jay-Z should be dismissed. And the only thing I think is that he's possibly going to piss Alyssa Torres off, the judge, because she already told him to fall back. Don't be so aggressive. And he wasn't aggressive. He's been, he's coming, he's asking the court for permission, that the opposing counsel, they didn't file their response in the allotted time. So now we would like permission to file and so he's doing things the right way. So, and then he's citing some reasons as to why certain laws are not applicable in this instance. Some of the acts that this young lady is trying to file under. So yeah, can y'all hit the like button too? Thank you. Lulu be keeping me on point because I be forgetting to say stuff. Follow me on IG, which is Celebrity Scandal, blah 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 blah. Blah. That right there. Y'all, I'll be forgetting some of this. It's too much. It's like if you're not young, it be all this IG, Twitter, Discord. It's too much. Like I got YouTube. And listen, and one name is say Laugh, Acts, and Gossip because that used to be my old name. That's on Twitter. The IG is sub TLGG. It's like I can't keep up with it all. It's just too much. It's too much. Thank you. And Lulu, do you want them to follow you on IG? Because I know I was telling people to follow you before, and you said you were taking a break. So do you want people to follow you on your IG where Lulu sends out daily positive religious messages? So and I'll tell you if I don't know if she wants, Lulu, you could let them know if put it in there if you want them to follow you. But I'm just gonna say this. Maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, I had gotten it. Life was like really, we go up and down in life, right? It had gotten really, really bad, and I was feeling really, really depressed. And when I tell you, Lulu's, she had these messages like not scriptures, but daily positive religious messages, and reminders that God is with you, and just short. And I would tell you, it would help me get through the day. It was some days I just wanted to break down and cry because work sometimes, my manager was just driving me crazy. And when I just like hated going to work and stuff. And so I would read them and it would really give me strength. I needed that. I haven't seen them lately because I don't even know if she's been posting them. I haven't seen them. B says, that's all I have is YouTube. Yes, a lot. Like I got YouTube, like all of these things, the platforms are different. You kind of got to learn to navigate all of them, right? So I feel like let me master one, and then I'll try to learn the other ones. I'm just starting to learn Twitter, but it's just like it's too much. Twitter and then Facebook and TikTok, and listen. So y'all go follow. Okay, Lulu, put it in the chat on Instagram. Follow her IG. So I guess she had stopped for a minute, but I guess she posted again. So yeah, y'all go follow her. She gonna put it in the chat. Yeah, but it's crazy. It'd be too much. This whole Discord thing, and I try to learn some of them, but I can't get into them. So Lulu says she's gonna start back by the new year. Okay. So maybe you're gonna post it when you get ready to start back. That's fine. But yeah, it's really positive. Sometimes you need the positivity, right? Like when the people come on here and encourage me, I really appreciate it. Everyone needs positive scriptures on God. Yes, it sure does help out day to day. It does. And even when we have these lives, like I'm trying to make sure I go live every day, because today I was so pissed. I was like, no. But even having other people just give you a little shout out or tell you to have a good day where you can decompress, where you're not around family, or it's just like your own little, whatever. Sometimes you need to step away from your everyday life, seriously. And so these kind of chats, because I be in chats. Some people be talking and I'll just be in the chat and I forget whatever problems I have. That's kind of why I do it too. I used to listen to Wendy Williams when she was on WBLS. And when I would have a hard day at work, I would just put her on, listen to her talk, and it would get me through it because it takes your mind away, So hopefully, maybe one day I could do that for somebody too, because you guys do it for me. The people that come back and get in the chat. Oh, Lulu, look what I made. I got to show you this because I did this for you guys. Okay, Lulu, can you see it? It says, so this is a shout out to Lulu. And it's supposed to be Chris, but that's a typo. So if Chris see it, I'm sorry, Chris. Michael and Bring the Mess TV. You guys go subscribe to Bring the Mess TV too. She has started doing her lives and she's starting to post content as well. But anyway, this is just a shout out to you guys, the people who have been really supporting me lately and coming back and keeping me on point, encouraging me. So, Lulu, did you see it? I don't know if you could see it or not. But anyway, y'all. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys. You guys give me positive energy. I really need it and I appreciate it. I just wanted to give some back. I don't see Michael Brown tonight. I don't see Chris. And I don't see Bring the Mess TV. Okay. Thank you. I was like, right before I was going on, that's why I got Chris's name. Because her name is Chris Nicole. That's why I got it spelled it wrong. Because like I was rushing. But yeah, I don't see the regulars here. But hopefully they'll do the replay and they'll see it. But yeah, y'all, I've been on here over an hour. Is this a good time, Lulu? Is this a good time? Because I came on a little late today. I think I came on like 8:30 or something. Let me know if you think this is a good time. I could come on a little earlier. Yes, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Oh, Lulu, just so you know too, today, like some people were reading over I think somebody had filed like a motion or something. It was a pleading. I'm gonna say a pleading. And do you know they are disrupting lives, like big content creators shutting their lives down. They are going after people, sending like cease and desist and telling people you need to take this down and stuff. So that's why I got to start being careful. I'm small, so I'm under the radar, but they not playing. This is getting ugly. And this is people that are reporting on the Jay-Z Diddy case. Like, I don't know if it's the attorneys or who's watching, but they watching people. And if the content, if you're reporting something that they feel is inappropriate or not, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, it's a problem. So people have to be very careful what they say. And as you see, you may have come in late, but I was just going over the fact that there was one, yeah, they are. Yeah, just let me know a time and I'll be there. Okay, I mean, girl, I'm flexible, but I'm gonna try to do it probably like about 7:30. I'm gonna try to stay on schedule, and then yeah. They're just like I was earlier when I was reading that one article where they had to retract a statement from that Jaguar Wright had made comments about P. Diddy having H to the I to the VVV, right? Yeah, like people are saying stuff and starting to possibly get lawsuits. So they snatching stuff down. And because Jaguar Wright is saying she's retracting some of her statements and saying that she didn't say this, she didn't say that it's all AI, right? Because they're coming after people and people are losing channels. Actually, I heard a couple weeks ago. Now, I don't even know if it's a fact because I don't know the channel, but I heard that there were 1 or 2 channels that were taken down for a couple of things and people being demonetized. So I'm just going to play it as straight as I can. I don't want no problems. So yeah, don't be making up stuff for clicks and likes. Stick close to the content as possible. I was talking about Travis Hunter, which I really want to talk about him. I don't know if you guys have been following that story, but the reports had come out before the Alamo Bowl that he didn't go with the team. So that's what people were talking about, and that's what they were reporting. So I sat up there and okay, so this is Instagram. Okay, so this is Lulu's Instagram. I don't know if they can click it, Lulu, but y'all try to click her Instagram to follow her. And it's Lulu's World, right? On Instagram, is it the same? Lulu's World 93? Because I can't remember because I already follow you. I don't know if it's got the 93 in there. But I had reported that Travis Hunter, because that's what they said. Look, my dog, he up here. They had said that he hey Papa, you wanna get down? Don't pull my hair off, baby. They had said Travis Hunter didn't go with the team to San Antonio. So I reported the same thing because that's what everybody else was saying. Child, they said that was a lie. And so some people came into, so I apologize, whatever. But so I said, well, hell, I'm lying behind everybody else because that's what they say. So hell, I don't know. Okay, so Lulu says, yes, that's what it is. Okay, you guys. Well, I think I have done my time. And tomorrow, I apologize because I know I wasn't on point tonight, but I'll be back together tomorrow. Y'all have a good evening. And as we go into the new year, happy new year. If I don't see you again, blessings to you and your family. And y'all be safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.